You need to scoot a little bit closer to me.
No, I don't. Well, I can't be on the hump.
No. All right, ready? 1, 2,
You don't
3.
have to do that. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rallis.
I'm Katie.
And we're doing a little intro for our bathroom mural and vanity mirror video. We're also going to be doing a proper introduction to our home renovation, remodel, fixing it up, whatever you want to call it. And that'll be coming next week. So make sure that you subscribe and you hit the little bell so you'll get notified about it. And if you like the video, hit a like. If you don't like it, hit a don't like. However you want to do it. All right, here we go.
Do you ever have a dream where you're trying to run and it feels like you're wading through water or like your feet are glued to the ground? That's where we're at with this bathroom, down to just the finishing touches now, but we can't seem to make any progress. Things just keep going wrong or breaking or whatever happens to set us back. This is day 5, trying to get an outlet cover that we can both be happy with. Day 5. For an outlet cover. But let's start with something more fun. The mural has cured for 30 days now, so we can finally seal it to protect it from scratches and abrasion. After some research online, we decided that polyacrylic would be safe to use. I guess Rust-Oleum has negotiated exclusivity with our local home improvement store, so we're limited to this Varathane water-based polyurethane sealant.
The clear coat is actually a satin finish, so it's not a gloss, not matte, but a satin finish.
Polyacrylic tends to bubble up really easily, so a roller isn't recommended. I'll need to brush it onto the wall. Luckily, we stumbled across this weird brush. It has a velvet-like texture and looks like it'll work for our purposes pretty well. It's actually pretty slick. It was really easy to paint with, and it went fast because it's so wide. It also got into the corners pretty well, so I didn't have to cut in with a separate brush. The sealant goes on a little milky and dries nice and clear. I didn't notice any color distortion at all. I did test a small area first to make sure. I put on 3 coats of the sealant with 2 hours of dry time between each coat. It gave the mural a nice even sheen. That's a big step forward. Now back to this damn light switch cover. We considered a decorative cover but really wanted something that would blend into the wall. My hair dye stains pretty much everything, so we thought that might be a good solution. We got some purple semi-permanent dye and tried it on the old switch cover. It doesn't look like it's gonna stain it.
Well, put it on and leave it there.
I will. It left a faint stain, but we needed something more intense. So we put the cover in developer to bleach it back to white.
We're going to put it in the sun over here. Leave it to sit overnight.
Okay, I had read about RIT dye working on the nylon covers. Let's give that a try. I heated a pot of water to near boiling, added a few drops of dish soap, and a splash of synthetic liquid dye. I'm using a large pot that's only used for dye. No food items go in here. Eureka! It worked in a matter of seconds. We excitedly got the new cover ready to dye. We also wanted the switches dyed to match, so we unwired them and dunked them into the dye bath with the cover. It's probably going to dye pretty much instantly.
Doesn't look like it's dying at all.
Well, it might not be the right kind of material.
Alright, should we do this one then?
Yeah, test that one in there.
Oops.
Well, the switches and outlets are not made of nylon, evidently, because they didn't take the dye at all. And it turns out we didn't buy the correct switch cover, which should have been the unbreakable nylon variety. has a neat texture. I don't know what this one is made out of, but this is what it did in the dye bath. Interesting. I was willing to live with this one, but at some point I dropped it or possibly threw it to the floor and broke it. Now we were getting desperate and maybe a little delirious.
See that? All the purple's gone and it's bright white, and when I take this off, I don't want to breathe it in. You can see how white that is. So if you have to restore yellowing plastics, this is how you do it.
We tried a permanent hair dye with stronger developer. We completely saturated the cover and even the switches in the outlet for some reason.
Don't know how I'm gonna get that out of there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll try later. I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, I don't think so. So all that stuff was basically ruined. We bought a new switch, new outlet, and new cover, making sure we got the unbreakable nylon one this time. We accepted our fate of white switches and outlets. That's as good as they're gonna get. I tinted the purple dye with a bit of black to tone it down and dyed the cover. It's still pretty saturated purple. We're still not entirely happy. The last resort is a paintable metal cover. It says it's ready for paint, so I painted it, but the paint somehow scratched off every time I looked away from it. So I removed the paint, I sanded it, painted a Kills primer on it, then painted the mid-tone purple from the mural. I even painted the screws. I gave everything 2 coats of paint and then sealed it all with a few coats of acrylic sealer, all having 2 hours of dry time between coats. 5 days for this. Oh, and 7 trips to the store. Holy moly. I'm gonna let the cover cure for a bit longer just to be safe. Let's install the mirror now. Rallis is attaching the wires and there's already a screw into the stud to hang it on. I'm so excited about this. Getting it steady on the wall. And here it is. It's so beautiful. We bought the coffin mirror from the Coffin Guy in Portland, Oregon. It already had the light sockets, and then we added the bones.
So, let's talk about Coffin Guy. You remember Coffin Guy?
Hmm?
We met Coffin Guy, Mike Allen, at the West Coast Haunters Convention in Portland, Oregon. And he is an amazingly talented and artistic gentleman, highly skilled, who does fantastic work. He made our vanity mirror force, but he makes anything coffin and casket. This is one of the coffins, or actually it's a casket that I bought from him. And you can see it's got my $2 bills in there and some other stuff. It's just, a little catch-all that I use. And
He does different colored velvets in there too.
Yes.
I've got a purple lined one.
yeah, we have a couple of his pieces because we just love his stuff so much. He does great work. I mean, you can see they're fantastic. Fantastic. But he builds like coffin speakers and coffin dog and cat bowl holders, coffin tables, casket stuff. He does custom work, which when I was at the convention, he had built a makeup mirror for somebody. And I saw that and I was like, wow, I want one of those. He's like, I can make you one. And I was like, okay, but I knew already that I wanted less lights than the other person had. They had like 4 lights on the long side and 3 on the short sides. And I was like, that would be way too much. And I was right. Because even with just 2, 2, and 3, It's really bright. Also on ours, it came with an outlet and a switch at the bottom. And we ended up not needing that because we were hardwiring it into the wall, which is why I took that out and I put a plate over it, and then we put the filigree.
This filigree was cast from one of Evil Ted's molds that are available at Michael's.
Evil Ted has actually been a buddy of mine for a lot of years. I first worked with him in 1996 on a George Romero commercial for Biohazard 2. I was working for Screaming Mad George, and Evil Ted was actually one of the stars of the commercial. It was a zombie commercial, and he played one of the lead zombies in it. It was really cool, and Ted has been fabricating and doing creative stuff for years and years and years, and he's really good, and you probably already know that.
I don't ever know what to do.
Oh.
I just kind of look around and watch you and look at the camera, and then I'm like, is that like a little aggressive that I'm just staring down the camera?
No.
Or just watch you and talk, or do
to.
I stare off like I'm bored? I don't know what to do. These little cast bird skulls were a gift. The hip bones and longer bones were from a cat that died on our property the first year we moved here. And the jaws and skulls were also gifts. The vertebrae at the top was from that dead cat too. We used hot glue to attach the bones and then sprayed the whole thing down with a clear gloss to seal it. Oh, it's so beautiful. I just love it. So now I'll put in the Nightmare switch cover. Ah, dang it.
What'd you do?
Scratch the paint off the stupid screw. Slow down. These light bulbs are really hot. It looks good enough. I considered painting the mausoleum detail to really blend it into the wall, but it has been such an ordeal, I'm just going to leave it and hope the paint and clear coat holds up. This was a big triumph, but there was a harbinger of a problem we'll run into soon. Did anyone catch it? Let me know in the comments if you think you know what's going to happen. In the meantime, we're going to keep chipping away at this bathroom.
That's it for now. So come back in a week and check out the video. We'll do a proper introduction where we tell you about all the crazy stuff that we're doing.
It's a lot of crazy stuff.